Hi, tribe. So this is like a little bit of an additional information about the different sites that are available in Puerto Rico, in the beautiful island of Borique. How this is how the native people of the island call the island. So just to give you a little more information about Puerto Rico, lore states, or what's been passed down through our grandparents and grandmothers and our grandmothers and grandfathers of tribe, is that Puerto Rico, when Gaia was one continent, Puerto Rico was the highest peak in Gaia at the time, before any shifts happened and she broke up into different parts. And because it was the highest peak existed in Puerto Rico, ceremony was conducted, meaning all the tribes that were anywhere near Puerto Rico would travel from many distances to come for ceremony and on this particular spot on the island. And so there is a lot, there's a lot, I don't know, there's a lot of things that I've found out recently that I haven't been able to verify, so I don't want to say that that's the case. I just know, and I could say with certainty, is you come to the island and there's something magical. It's, you step into the energy of this place and it's like poof, all your problems are gone. you know you just, it's kind of like something wipes you clean and you just feel the harmony of something. And especially after, and I hate to say it, but Hurricane Maria cleansed something. It's just, I remember coming back to the island after Maria for the first time, and I was like, wow, it's crystal clear. Like it always had that effect on me, but not like this. So the island is squeaky clean. It's been cleansed. It's the vortices of energy are spectacular. And I really want to start to bring people to the island. But there's one particular place called, I don't know if I should announce the exact spot. I mean, if someone wants to find out, they can contact me directly and we can discuss it. But there's a specific point in the island that I was guided this last time that I went to go see. And I was with a friend of mine, and it was really clear to me that we were there to do a massive healing. And she's comes from Portuguese, Spanish, from Spain, DNA roots. My roots are Hasidic Jew. I shouldn't say Hasidic Jew. It's Jewish, Eastern European roots. Dad is a Holocaust survivor. I have the Taino, also the Native American, which was completely wiped out in the island, but the DNA exists in many of us, or most of us. And then I have the Spanish as well. And I know also there is a Mongolian and maybe some African. So there's some Asian and African. So I'm like I'm the smorgasbord of DNA. So when we were approaching this particular spot on the island, I knew that two of us were there, both as carrying the DNA of both the victim and perpetrator, because she also had some ancient DNA from some ancient people that were also mistreated and almost completely annihilated in her. But I don't want to say what it is. That's her private. That's private for her to share if she wants to. And basically, I was carrying DNA in me that was her. I was her perpetrator. I victimized her, and she was carrying the same with me. So in other words, we were representing all sides. And as we walked in together into the space, it just felt there was a moment, right? When we walked into the space, we were asking for all the timelines because, time doesn't exist. So in another dimension, all these things are happening simultaneously. They still are, we're asking for them to be collapsed, completely collapsed, that there is complete forgiveness and there's finally an opportunity to heal. That was our ceremony. And she called in the 4 directions and she did a whole thing and a whole prayer. And I have a special symbol that was given to me in 2008 when I did the World Peace and Prayer Day ceremony. The mist came in and gave me a symbol. And I know it's a portal. And so for the first time, I used the portal. It's 11 years. 11 years. I used the portal, and I'm asking that only the light, the hierarchy of light, can enter for the purpose of healing the planet, for healing us, all the sentient beings on the earth, everyone that has been devastated, hurt, injured in some way on the planet. And then we went off on, continued our trip, right? We were in Puerto Rico for 4 or 5 days. And it took us the following week to say what happened. Like something happened on that mountain. Something happened. Miraculous happened in that mountain. And the best way I can explain it is our software was completely wiped out. We were brought to zero. Zero. It meant that we had nothing running us. We had no fear running us. We had no frustration. We had no anxiety. It was like we were flat. And it was a very uncomfortable place to be. We both were like sharing with each other, like, what is this? We didn't understand what was happening. And then I realized what a miracle that is, right? Because we go through our entire lives being programmed by society, by teachers, by parents, by colleagues and friends. We learn how to fear so many things. We learned, to protect ourselves because we don't want to be vulnerable. And it's kind of like imagine going back to when you were a little child and everything was just open and you had no judgment. That's where we were. And so we had to, at some point, scramble to reprogram ourselves, right? Because what happens is, this happened to me before. I had the experience before, and that's another story with plant medicine, where that happened to me, is if you're not aware that has happened to you, because it's so subtle, there's something, you know something's different, but it's so subtle that you don't really grab onto what it is. You need to reprogram yourself, because otherwise you're watching television and you hear something about you must take this pill because this will do. It starts to infuse fear. Or if you're in bankruptcy, this is who you can call. All of these things about money and abundance and fears and health and all these things come back. And they start to reprogram you to the way you used to be. And it's so easy to do that because it's the old program, right? You need to actually protect yourself as to what you're listening to, what are you allowing in, and you need to start to listen to the things that you want to become, what you want to become, how you want to live your life, what are the lenses you want to wear, and you live your life through. And so what I did, this is just my sharing, is I made a recording and I listened to it every night. It's kind of like stating, I'm abundant, I am beautiful, I am radiant. I incorporated some healing meditations in it so that every night I'm connecting to my hierarchy. Every night I am infusing my body with healing energy. And I'm telling myself all the things that I know I already am, and that I am those things already, even though maybe there's a part of me that's not there yet. And I listen to every night. I'm very careful what I listen to. sometimes, I try to be choosy about the people in my life in general, but, just knowing that it's very important to also protect yourself from negativity. So, sometimes you can't help but be around people who are negative as much as you want to, because sometimes the people you love the most, right, are struggling, and it's hard, and they need someone to talk to, and you need to be there for your loved ones. But you could also limit that, limit it, and do your best to help people along the way. So I'm so excited about this because I want to incorporate this ceremony. So it's kind of like, the way I see it is, if I do a retreat, I would first start out with our cleansing ceremony, which is ocean, mountain. So bathing in the salt water of the ocean and going to the spring sacred waters of the waterfalls. From there, go to this point on the island and clean out the CPU, like clean out the computer, and then the next few days do the reprogramming. And doing it through light activation ceremony, which is extremely powerful, Reiki healing, past life regression, including especially the quantum healing hypnosis therapy, which is extremely powerful. The point is not only to collapse the 3D matrix and all of the timelines that are infused with pain and suffering, but to reprogram you and to connect you to your higher self. That is the most spectacular thing. Like, once you get to know that part, that's like, who was that? Who was talking? It's you, right? I have this, it's like the funniest thing when I do the quantum healing to people. Sometimes they come out and they go, was that real? Like, who was that talking? Like, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting how we all have this divine, sacred, wise part of us, and we're so disconnected from it. And then when you meet it, you don't even understand how subtle and how easy it is to connect to that. It's so subtle, yet easy to be in the presence of that energy and that voice and that wisdom. It requires you to be in a very specific state. You to be in the presence of your higher self, you have to be in a certain state. And it's not negativity. That's the hint. You can't be negative. You can't be frustrated. You can't be and I recorded something about this. So it's bringing you into zero, into harmony, and connecting you to your higher self. And that is the retreat. It's sending you home sending you home from the retreat with a recording that can continue to give you that gift, so that you continue to have that possibility to merge with your highest part, and have that part be in your life every day, making decisions for you every day. Okay, love to try. If anyone interested, let me know. We'll create a retreat, and off we go.